welcome to Knit in the City. I am Rebecca, the city is Malmö, and today I'm going to talk about 6 designers that I have been fangirling over. Because as we all know, knitting is slow and finding great patterns is fast. So I haven't yet come to knit anything from these designers. I am going to pick 2 patterns from each designer that are typical for their style. And then I've also picked 1 pattern that I'm dying to cast on right away. And links to the designers' pattern pages on Ravelry will be in the description box. And if there are any numbers that I'm not telling you straight up, it's going to be somewhere in the frame. And I will, of course, also put pictures and names of the patterns in the frame. I'm going to start off right away with the first designer, who is Irene Linn. And she is a Taiwan-based designer that makes modern, feminine, and mostly oversized garments. She works a lot with pretty lace patterns, often combined with cables of some sort. Many of the designs have a vintage feel to them, while still being current. The size range is a bit inconsistent, ranging from everything from 5 to 9 sizes. And the first design that I'm going to talk about is the Millie cardigan. And this is a pretty airy cardigan with short sleeves, but it seems to come with instructions for long sleeves as well, so I guess you can pick your adventure. It has a diamond-shaped lace pattern on the body and the sleeves, and an eyelet and cable motif on the raglan. So even the raglan has a pretty element to it. I will be taking sips from my coffee every now and then when my mouth gets dry or my energy gets low. So yeah, apologies for that in advance. And where was I? Yeah, the cardigan is knit from the top down in one piece. It comes in 8 sizes with a finished bust circumference of 90 to 154 centimeters. And this translates to 36.5 to 60.5 inches. And it has a recommended positive ease of 5 centimeters, which is 2 inches. It uses a DK weight yarn on 3 and 3.5 millimeter needles, and that is US 2.5 and 4. The next one is the Irene sweater, and this is a polo style cabled sweater worked from the top down in the round. It comes in 7 sizes with a finished bust circumference of 109 to 160 centimeters, and that is the equivalent of 43 to 63 inches. And it is to be worn with a recommended positive ease of 10 to 28 centimeters or 4 to 11 inches. It is knit in an Irene weight yarn on 4.5 and 5 millimeter needles. And that is US 7 and 8. A pattern that I am dying to cast on is the Kylie pullover. And this is like the perfect summer garment. And the moment I saw it, I knew I had to cast it on. It has a really loose and airy fabric, and the oversized fit is not going to bother me because this garment has so many holes, you can see the body through it. It is a drop shoulder sweater with a lace and cable motif. You start at the back neck and then you pick up for the fronts and join in the round under the armholes. It is knit in a plant fiber yarn, which makes it even more suitable for summer. It comes in 5 sizes with a finished bust circumference of 122 to 171 centimeters. So this is quite oversized. That is 48 to 67.5 inches around. And the recommended positive ease is 10 to 40 centimeters, which is 4 to 15.75 inches. Irene also has a lot of really nice vest patterns. I did have trouble picking just one, so you just go and check them out on your own. The next designer is a British designer, and this is Florence Miller also known as Handmade by Florence. She makes soft, classic feminine designs in a light, soft color palette. Sorry about that. They are mostly timeless pieces that range from figure hugging to slightly oversized. Lots of stockinette pieces with some easy color work and lace patterns. Most of the patterns are beginner friendly and some of them even have video tutorials. The size range is good. Most patterns come in 9 sizes and some have less. I think 7 is the least amount, and some have more. Some of them go up to 12 sizes. And the first one I'm going to talk about is the Mayball wrap. This is a drop shoulder wrap cardigan with double knitted details. The sleeves are shaped with short rows. And this design comes in 7 sizes to fit a bust of 75 to 135 centimeters and a recommended positive ease of 15 centimeters. It's knit in a sport weight yarn held together with a lace to make a DK weight. And it's knit on 3.5 and 4.5 millimeter needles, which is the equivalent of US 4 and 7. The next one is the Tombow tee, and this is a striped t-shirt knit from the top down. You start at the back to shape the neckline, and this piece has a saddle shoulder construction that transitions into a raglan. And the stripes are perfectly lined up in this pattern, so she's thought about everything. It comes in 9 sizes to fit a bust of 75 to 155 centimeters and has a recommended positive ease of 8 to 12 centimeters. It's knit up in a fingering weight yarn on 2.5 and 3 millimeter needles, or US 1.5 and 2.5. And the pattern that I am dying to knit up is the Petal Drop camisole. And this is such a cute camisole for the summer. And I love the deeper, but not super deep neckline and the cute ribbed lace pattern. It's worked from the bottom up and finished with I-cord edgings around the neckline and the armholes. It comes in 9 sizes to fit a bust of 75 to 155 centimeters and a recommended negative ease of 6 centimeters. It's knit in a fingering weight yarn on 2.5 and 3 millimeter needles, which is US 1.5 and 2.5, so quite small needles. But it is just a camisole, so it shouldn't take too long. And the next designer I was going to talk about was my favorite things knitwear, but I actually cheated and cast on the blouse number 1, which I will be talking about in the next monthly roundup, so I'm not gonna tell you anything more than this right now. So I'll just jump straight into the next one, which is Anne Wenzel, who's also a Danish designer, much like my favorite things knitwear. And she has had a career in the fashion industry before she became a knitwear designer. Her designs are classic, oversized, and she often works with geometric patterns. She also has a lot of interesting textured patterns, clean lines, and the only problem here is the size range, which is not the best. Most of the patterns only come in 5 sizes, even though a few have 7. And 2 characteristic patterns. The first one is the Robinia sweater, which is gorgeous. And this is the first garment in the Robinia family. There is also a sweater in a lighter weight yarn and a t-shirt. This sweater has a boat neck and a beautiful wave pattern that is knit with the stranded color work. It's knit from the top down and uses short rows. The sweater comes in 5 sizes and has a finished bust circumference of 100 to 140 centimeters and a recommended positive ease of 17 to 27 centimeters, so it's quite oversized. It is knit in a fingering, a lace and a bulky held together, so this makes for a pretty thick fabric. And it is knit on 4, 4.5 and 5 millimeter needles, which is the equivalent of US 6, 7 and 8. And if you want a lighter garment, you should try the Robinia Light that is knit in DK weight yarn, or the Robinia T, which is made from fingering weight yarn. So you've got all kinds of different gauges here. The next one is the Smilla sweater. And this is an oversized drop shoulder sweater with a simple all over cable pattern. And it is knit from the top down. It has slits at the side and it's longer in the back. It comes in 5 sizes with a finished bust circumference of 102 to 134 centimeters and a recommended positive ease of 20 centimeters. Sorry. It's knit in a worsted and a lace held together on 4 and 5 millimeter needles, and that is US 6 and 8. And the pattern that I am dying to cast on is the Shore Tee. And this is such a classic summer piece, and it looks put together whatever you combine it with. I love the simple vertical lace motif, and it is a top-down drop shoulder construction with the longer sleeves, like they come almost down to the, what is this? Why am I forgetting this? Elbow. Let me just say elbow. The elbow crease. Yeah. And it has twisted rib edgings. It comes in 5 sizes with a finished bust circumference of 94 to 129 centimeters. It's knit in a sport and a lace held together on 3 millimeter needles, which is US 2.5. I did not tell you how much ease it has, and I'm not sure if it says on the pattern page, but it does have some positive ease. It's not as oversized as the other 2 that I have talked about by this designer. The next designer is Colibri by Johanna, and the designer behind this name is Johanna Gish. She is a German knitwear designer who makes playful modern designs with a twist. She incorporates a lot of colors, polka dots, stripes, and fun details like ruffles placed in non-conventional places. The size range is pretty good. Most patterns are XS to 5XL, and some of the older ones are XS to XL or 2XL. So some of them are not super good. 2 of the characteristic patterns are the Cindy top, which is a cute tank top with a tie front detail. This is a high neck top knit from the top down, starting at the back and then joined in the round after the armholes. It's finished with I-cord edgings, and it comes in 9 sizes and has a finished bust circumference of 84 to 138 centimeters and a recommended negative ease of 0 to 10 centimeters, which is 0 to 4 inches. It's knit in a fingering weight yarn held together to make a DK, and it's knit on 4 millimeter needles, which is a US 6. The next one is one of her more quirky patterns, and this is the Funky Gustav sweater. And she has quite a few patterns like this. And this one also has a really interesting construction. It's knit in 3 colors, and you start by knitting the stripes and cables with two of the colors. And after that is done, you crochet the 3rd color onto the cables. And I don't know how skilled of a crocheter you need to be to do this, but it does seem quite simple. But it is a lot of crocheting, so if you don't like that, this is probably not the pattern for you. Yeah, and according to the pattern page, this design is knit in 4 pieces. It doesn't say whether you are supposed to seam these together or not, but probably. Yeah, the sweater comes in 9 sizes with a finished bust circumference of 86 to 166 centimeters and a recommended positive ease of 5 to 10 centimeters, which is 2 to 4 inches. It's knit in a fingering and a lace held together to make a sport on 3.5 and 4 millimeter needles, which is the equivalent of US 4 and 6. And a pattern I would like to cast on right away is the Margaret T. And I have been seeing a lot of these cute tie front tops and cardigans. And I guess I'm not immune to being influenced. This is such a pretty design with its ties at the front and the little mohair frills on the hem and the sleeves. It's a V-neck cardigan knit from the top down with a raglan construction. It comes in 9 sizes and has a finished bust circumference of 91 to 147 centimeters and a positive ease of 0 to 8 centimeters. It's knit in a fingering weight wool cotton blend on 3.5 millimeter needles, which is US 4. The next designer is also a German designer, and this is Paula Strick or Susanne Müller. And she designs classic, clean and timeless pieces. And I have actually already queued a few of her patterns, but I have yet to put my needles into them. She makes the pieces with clean lines, timeless staple pieces, lots of stockinette, ribbing or simple lace motifs. If more than one color is used, it's generally stripes. She makes more high-necked, slightly oversized garments with some V-necks. The size range is not the biggest, but it's not super bad. Most patterns range from XS to 2XL. And 2 of the characteristic patterns are the Sophie sweater, which is a beautiful wrap style sweater without ties. It is finished with a ribbed hem that holds the piece together. It's knit from the top down in one piece with a nice shoulder detail and finished off with a tubular bind off. The pattern page is in German, which caused me a bit of trouble, but not too. I hope that what I'm telling you here is accurate. The pattern is available in English as well. It comes in 6 sizes with a finished bust circumference of 89 to 130 centimeters and a recommended positive ease of 5 to 10 centimeters, which is 2 to 4 inches. It's knit in a DK and a lace held together on 3.5 and 4.5 millimeter needles, which is the equivalent of US 4 and 7. The Maxime sweater is a classic oversized striped sweater that we have seen quite a lot of lately. It has a rolled neck and wide sleeves. It's a turtleneck that you fold over. It's knit from the top down and has a wide ribbing on the cuffs and the hem. It comes in 6 sizes with a finished bust circumference of 108 to 140 centimeters and a recommended positive ease of 15 to 20 centimeters. It's knit in an Aran weight yarn on 3 and 4.5 millimeter needles, which is US 2.5 and 7. And a pattern I would love to cast on right away, you had to wait for that a bit, is the Lanta bag, because I have been wanting to knit myself a summer bag for a while now, and this is the perfect one. It's knit in a beautiful mesh pattern and has a nice V shape at the top. It looks super classic while still being a bit different. It's knit with from the top down and comes in 1 size with a height of 39 centimeters and a width of 31 centimeters. And it is knit in a worsted weight linen or cotton linen blend, which is great for this type of thing, on 4 millimeter needles, which is US 6. Oh, mail came. Okay, I have really been rushing through this. The last designer I want to talk about today is Camille K. And Camille is a French designer who makes feminine, playful and elevated designs. I have already talked about some of her designs in my fancy camisoles episode, so if you haven't seen that, go check it out. Her designs incorporates ruffles, lace, cables and more fitted garments with lower necklines or open backs and garments in soft, fussy materials. The size range is the same as for Paula Strick, XS to 2XL, so not fantastic. 2 characteristic patterns from this designer is the ballerina romance sweater, which is a super romantic wrap sweater with an open back, or you can wear it the other way with a V-neck in front. It has balloon sleeves with a pretty lace pattern on them and crocheted scalloped edgings, which seem to be pretty simple even if you're not a crocheter. It comes in 6 sizes with a finished bust circumference of 88 to 134 centimeters and a recommended positive ease of 6 centimeters. It's knit in a lace mohair held double on 3.5 and 4 millimeter needles, which is US 4 and 6, and you also need a 3 millimeter crochet hook for the edgings. The next one is the Frou Frou sweater, and this is another open back design that also has a deep V in the front, so it has a V both in the back and in the front. And this sweater has a cute ruffle with a lace pattern all around the neckline. It is knit from the top down in the round with I-cord edgings. It comes in 6 sizes with a finished bust circumference of 82 to 128 centimeters and a recommended ease of -5 to +6 centimeters. It's knit in a sport white yarn on 3 and 3.5 millimeter needles, which is the equivalent of US 2.5 and 4. And the pattern that I would like to cast on right away is actually a pattern that I've talked about before. This is also in the camisoles episode. And this is the Be My Tulip top. And it's been around, so probably you've seen it before. Yeah, this is a really beautiful lacy top with bra-friendly straps, which I really like. It has a V-neck and buttons in the front. And the straps are knit in double knitting. Yeah, that's what I want to say. It's actually knit from the bottom up, back and front in one piece. Back and front. Back and forth. I mean back and forth in one piece. It also comes in 6 sizes and has a finished bust circumference of 80 to 121 centimeters and a recommended ease of -3 to +5 centimeters. It is knit in a sport weight yarn on 3.5 millimeter needles or US 4. And like I said before, there will be links to these designers' Ravelry pages in the description box. And now I am going to figure out which of all these lovely designs I'm going to cast on next. I hope you have a nice day and that I will see you in the next one. Bye bye!